What is going on, guys? This is Miasin, and this is gonna be a 4-0 undefeated first place Sky Striker deck list. Really nice stuff. It's really cool to see, well, really cool and really interesting to see Sky Striker still being good after Engage banned, and I mean, Kagaria 3, it's just like an upgrade if anything, right? Anyways, before we start, of course, you already know it, friendly reminder to like and subscribe. Oh, the beautiful package that makes me happy, because when I'm happy, you're probably gonna be happy as well. I'm gonna do your laundry, your dishes, I'm gonna be your best friend. I'm gonna hug you forever. Anyways, let's get into the deck list. So he's playing 3 Ray, 2 Rose. I like this lineup quite a lot. I know some people have been experimenting with 3 Ray and 3 Rose. I think the 3 Rose might be a bit too much unless you're playing Utopia double package. Then it could make sense, but otherwise it's not that great. The Gamma Seal is the first thing that immediately I have to disagree with because of the Wind Barrier statue. But the fact that you're playing a Kaiju, I don't disagree with. Just replace this with Gadar line, that's it, that's all. Alright, Ash, 2 Veiler. Feel like 1 Veiler is enough because all you're really using Veiler for is Needle Fiber into Selene and then into Access Code. But the Veiler as a hand trap isn't optimal, and I don't know, I feel like especially for the spell lineup, there are some things that just kind of contradict themselves, and I'm going to be covering this very soon, with my own version of the deck list like I said. But yeah, for the most part it's kind of good, but there are some small changes I would bring. Anyways, Pankratops, double Area 0, I like that. Terraforming, double Afterburner and 1 Jamming Waves. I feel like Jamming Waves is getting worse and worse. I would actually do 3 and 0. And that's what most people are doing, and the reason for that is because Afterburner always baits in a gate, whereas Jamming Waves, they might just not care, or it might just not affect them if they were playing combo, or if they're playing, like, I don't know, floodgate cards. They could flip their floodgates on standby and stuff like that. I feel like Jamming Waves is just really not as good as it used to be. And yeah, especially with no engage and stuff, I'd rather just draw multiple Afterburners at this point. This card's just not too great. Anyways, I guess you can pop your own Area 0 while it's face down. So it's not that bad, but whatever. Alright, cool. Hornet Drones, double Shark Cannon. Shark Cannon is really good. I kind of just like playing it at 3. Triple Widow Anchor, of course. Multi-roll. The Hercules base, I just don't get it. Like, you have 3 Kagari, bro. Like, you don't need it. What are you trying to recycle back? Your spell cards? You have multi-roll for that. And then you have Lancia so they don't get banished on game 2 and 3. You should be fine. You really don't need Hercules base. Even when Engage was a thing, most decklists were playing without Hercules because the card is a huge brick. So now that Engage is actually banned, and the card is way worse, why would you keep playing it? Anyways, 2 Mystic Mine, yeah, sure, I like that. 2 Foolish Goods and Metal Fist Fusion. Now, there's not that much of an extra bonus for having 3+ spells in your graveyard. It's not that it sucks, but it's not as good as it used to be. So making your deck randomly lose to Joel and Logbird for no reason by drawing 1 card that doesn't really do that much, and potentially brick with extra copies of Foolish Goods, or if you're bad at the game like me, fusion into fusion, well, it's not gonna be super worth it. So not the biggest fan of this package at all, and yeah, I mean, I guess if anything, doing the 2 and 1 deal is probably the best one, but 3 and 1, hell no. And then yeah, Upstart Goblin, I guess that also kind of makes sense with whatever, the way you're building the deck. And then Call by the Grave, Rhoda, double MST because you want to pop your own Area 0. So it's the one deck, one of the few decks where playing MST over Cyclone makes more sense. And then double Pot of Everest. Again, speaking of contradiction, like, you're gonna have way too many cards to recycle, and not enough cards to get your stuff going. Again, I understand that you can pop your own Area 0, I understand that even Rose can be a pseudo-starter, but I don't know, I just feel like this is way too much. Anyways, for the extra deck, triple Hayate, triple Kagari, triple Shizuku, Kaina, 1 Zeke, and 1 Zeke, whatever, Needle Fiber, Selene, Access Code, and Phoenix. I think Hayate is the one Link monster that you can just play at 2, but then these 2, you want to play them at 3, and then Kaina, yeah, you definitely have to play 1 Kaina. This can kind of be bumped up to 2, or you can play just another Link 2 monster. Don't really think you want to play a Link 3, honestly, or a rank 4 monster. Kinda could make sense to a certain extent, but I'm not a big fan. Anyways, side decking the 3rd Mystic Mine, and then triple Dark Ruler, which I feel should be in the main deck. Regeki is not that bad. It's actually good against a few decks. Harpy's Feather Duster should also be in the main deck, I feel like. Jamming Waves again. 2nd Jamming Waves, I don't think this is needed. Double Heavy Storm Duster, triple D-Bear, this is great. You can also play There Can Only Be One, sorry. I feel like There Can Only Be One kind of should have been in the main deck, but since you're playing it as a going second deck, makes sense not to play it. But when you're playing going second with no Dark Rulers, but so many anti-combo cards like Mystic Mine and stuff, I feel like this deck list is just not as optimized as it should be. And then the triple Lancia, of course, absolutely fantastic. It hurts your opponent and it helps you by making your cards not get banished by the drawback of multi-rolls. So pretty fantastic. Let's get into my deck list now. Alrighty, so this is my version of the Sky Striker deck list that got first place at locals. So 2 Gadarla instead of 3 Gamma Seal, which gives me a bit more more space. And then the 1 Pankratops, triple Ray, double Rose, 3 Ash, and 1 Veiler this time because I really wanted to play the 3 Dark Ruler no more in the main deck. And of course, Harpy's Feather Duster, Rhoda, Terraforming, triple Pot of Prosperity. You don't need your extra deck that much. You only really need triple Kagari and triple Shizuku at all time, but you can win a game with only 1 Hayate, and you can win a game with 0 Kaina, honestly. But to be fair, most of the time you're going Prosperity for 3, and if it ever becomes a brick, this is the one card that you actually send away with the Area 0 effect. So it should never be too bad, but getting more consistency and having the chance of unbricking by getting Ray, or even a Kaiju or board breaking card in general, like a Dark Ruler, the threat of your opponent that you can actually just randomly draw Dark Ruler and break the board is definitely something to recognize, honestly. And the no damage and the half damage and the no damage from Dark Ruler do not matter since you're basically playing a combo deck, a control deck at this point that actually breaks boards eventually over time, so it doesn't matter. Triple Afterburner, double MST, this is the one change I said I would do, and I did it. Called by the Grave, triple Shark Cannon, again, same thing. Hornet Drones and set rotation. Not enough people play this. You're going to give yourself the Mystic Mine and the Area 0 to your opponent, and then this is where the Jamming Waves comes in and it becomes really, really good. Or you could just MST and that should be fine. Or even Harpy's Feather Duster. Your opponent could be playing Sekka's Light deck, and at least Harpy's Feather Duster and Set Rotation could actually have a purpose, which is pretty nice. And then triple Widow Anchor. Everything else is just, yeah, the same thing, same extra deck. And the side deck, I barely changed much. I wanted to keep in the 1 Jamming Waves, since it is kind of searchable to a certain extent. You're rarely searching it by the Hayate Kagari means, but you're going to be searching it off of the Area 0 Excavate or the Prosperity, and then you can recycle it back, you know, like over time, turn 2, 4, 5, 6, whatever. And then everything else, like I said, there can only be 1. You can also play Summon Limit, definitely a great option as well. But that's it for the Sky Striker deck list. Again, huge congratulations and shout out to the guy who actually piloted this beautiful deck list. Really, really nice. Really cool to see Sky Striker still being played in 2021 after like all the hits, which is really cool. But anyways, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Motivates me so much to keep making all of these, and I'll see you next time. Peace.